Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Natural Sentient Podcast. Tonight we have a great guest from Portugal. Yeah, John P. or Joao. Yeah,
Thank you.
John P. Adventures. So, yeah, welcome. It's great to have you.
My pleasure, sister. Sentient. Thank you for being my first interview that I ever been to.
Wow, congratulations, Dan. I didn't know that actually, so I'm honored. Thank you.
My pleasure. I had to start somewhere and where wherever place then Czechoslovakia, am I right? Slovakia,
Yes,
sorry.
it's a former Czechoslovakia. It's a former. But yes, in US, I usually say Czechoslovakia because
But it's
it's
Republic
known.
of Czechia now.
Yes, now we are Czechia and Slovakia separately. So yeah, I'm now in Slovakia and you're in Portugal. So we both are now in Europe. Wow, that's
Thank you
amazing.
for having me.
Well, thank you for accepting my invitation because actually first time I got to know your channel, Jumpy Adventures, through the Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot stream, live stream.
Yes, I love him.
So
Thanks. Oh,
yes,
bless.
thanks to thanks
Bless.
to the- thanks to both of them, yes, because they
Okay,
actually
I have to send
they're
him a big hug.
amazing. Yes, big hug to them and to everyone who is joining us and listening live or on replay. So it's
Thank you
really
very much.
amazing to have such a community, and supportive community, of the guys that they are really we're all around the world. And this is just a virtual space that we get a chance to connect.
Yes, it's our little niche. That's how I see it, our little sanctuary. Ay,
Yeah,
sorry about
absolutely.
this. Tony's. Sorry, it was a call. I had to refuse it, but it's a friend of mine. He told me he was gonna call me, but I will call him back. But if he calls me again, I may have to answer just to tell him to call me later. Okay? If he calls
Okay,
me. Okay. So I'm so
we can
sorry about this.
manage. Hopefully, we can manage, right?
So
So
my beautiful sister, what do you want to know about me? Ask me anything.
yeah, I mean, before going live, we actually agreed that this is going to be a free flow. We will have this conversation, like what comes through. But what actually interests me, it's your YouTube channel. So where a lot of videos about UFO sighting, UFO stories. So I'd like to hear about your UFO experience and about any experience that you would like to actually mention, whether it is related to another beings in a different forms or whatever is that. But you told me about yourself, like what you do actually in your mundane life, right? So if we can just mention that, like what you do, that you do osteopathy, right?
Okay. So I'll start. Let's start chronologically, okay? So chronologically, what I can
Great.
remember uh, that happened for the first time that I saw anything in the sky, I think I was about maybe 16 years old. But I did
Mhm.
love the rocket, toys and uh, things like that. I do remember watching ET. So my vision of ET at the time was, those little monsters that exist, or we were already being molded, I think. So I did love the ET. I was never really scared of it. So I think I may have watched X-Files before. I'm not sure. A few X-Files before I had my sighting.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I may have seen all of the X-Files because we even went to England and we bought all of the in London. We bought all of the X-Files. So we were already quite advanced when we were young on information, but I never really gave much attention to aliens and UFOs. There's something else I have to tell you. When I
Yes.
was really young, um, I had a few problems. I had a few things, okay, which may have molded me a little bit. Um, when I was young, I do remember taking my mother's antidepressant pills because I
Mm-hmm.
thought they were, M&Ms. So I was caught with maybe one in my mouth, I think, and I had to do a gastric aspiration. I do think now that maybe my gastric problem that I have, like, may come from that, but I'm not sure. I
Mm-hmm.
do remember when I don't remember much of getting sick. I may remember a little bit of going to the hospital, but it's really a blur. What I do remember when I was young and I had fevers, I do remember feeling like going to the ceiling, okay? Go and I was alone. So either I was dreaming, floating, or I
Mm-hmm.
when I got those fevers and things like that, I would float to the ceiling. And now that I do remember these things, I do try and find out if I saw myself in bed, and I don't think I saw myself in bed when I floated, you know. And I
Mm-hmm.
had a recurrent dream that I could fly. Okay, I would go out of my house and then I would like jump, and then when I would open my wings, I would kind of stay longer in the air and like fall slowly, but kind of hovering but slowly falling. And then if I did like this in the water, like swimming, sometimes I could elevate myself a little bit. So I do have that dream that never left me. Even now, I do have it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the dreams and things that I had when I was younger. My first sighting was I was 16. We were all in the beach, like at night, drinking and smoking. It was like that's my youth, when I started going, but more drinking beer. 16, I was still not
Mm-hmm.
smoking a lot, maybe some cigarettes, but
Yeah.
more beer and things like that. And I saw the funny thing, sentient, is that what I do remember is a girlfriend of a friend of mine. She was vomiting, and I looked to the horizon and I saw like an arrowhead, like that, like an arrowhead,
Mm-hmm.
like that, uh, traveling like this, going, sorry, like this, going from the horizon inland, like not very, like I told you, the UFOs that I see, they're not ever very high. They are close to the horizon. I don't know what is about that, but I know that's when they seem to appear. I don't know if it's the sun going out and the portals open. Maybe the portals open when the sun stops shining. I don't know, but they usually appear more after it's like dusk. 8:30, 9:30. That's the time that I see them.
Mm-hmm.
And it
That's
came over the
interesting.
city. Came over the city and there were a few clouds. It was kind of foggy because it's maritime, it's sea, the beach. And I remember going to the TV and look. There wasn't internet at the time, and looking at the TV on channel number 2, and I remember that they only talked about moon stuff, and like it was so funny. Nothing. I never found anything about that. So I talked with a few of my friends. None of them remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a laughing seizure. So when the girlfriend of my friend started vomiting, and I saw the UFO, I started trying to call my friends, and that's the memories I have. I tried calling them, but the girl was vomiting because of drinking the beer. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think it was because of drinking the beer. And then I just had like a laughing seizure. I couldn't stop laughing, and I think that prevented me from warning them to look at the horizon and see what I saw. Because
Yeah.
I kind of I think I started laughing, and then I saw the UFO, and then I kind of drifted away. But I don't think I told them to look at the horizon. I don't remember, but I remember at the time that it happened, and I tried remembering in my head so that it never disappeared from my memory. But apparently it disappeared from all of my friends that I there's too few. There's one, the girl that I have to ask, and the driver. So I have asked two of them already, the boyfriend of the girl and another friend, because I think we were 5 in the car at the time, so there couldn't be
Yeah.
more.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That
So
was
that
that
was your
was
first.
that was a good one. It was all white. It was the size maybe of 2 airplanes long. And I thought it was a falling airplane. Okay, I thought it was a downed airplane that was gonna fall because it was leaving sparkles behind. So behind the arrow on the back, it was leaving sparkles, and on the side, on the upper side and lower side, it was leaving sparkles. So, and it was moving kind of I would say an airplane movement, like not fast but not slow, kind of fast
Mm-hmm.
but not, how can I say, maybe because it was lower, it looked like it was going on a straight line, but it looked like it maybe could have been descending a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I just know that as soon as it went in land, further north, I stopped seeing it because the clouds were thicker and foggier, and it just disappeared. It got in the clouds, and I never.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first one. Then I saw the eclipse here in Portugal, I think on the 2000s. So if we think about it, I'm 41 and I was 16 when I saw that one. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say 90s maybe. And then 2000, I saw the eclipse with the glasses. It was beautiful. Um, and then nothing much on UFOs. Okay? So I've been, you know, nothing much. I've loved X Files. I've always loved Predator and Alien, and I don't know. I've always saw these monsters as fiction, at the time. X Files, I always thought X Files was, it wasn't true. I wouldn't. I was a kid, so I never thought, I never saw. I had some experiences with ghosts, actually, not ghosts, but those things. So I'll tell you this story.
Like spirits.
Yes. So we
Mm-hmm.
used to go to the south of Portugal in the holidays with the family, and there was a graveyard, you know, next to my grandmother's house. And, you know, of course, we were kids and we always went with our friends there and, you know, things like that. But then there were a few that were already a little bit more older. And so they had the card game. I don't know if you heard about the card game where they take always the top card, they shuffle it, take the top card, and they ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
But these questions have to relate to numbers and figures. Okay.
Yeah.
So a mother is the queen, father is the king, Jack is the brother or sister, you know, things like that. Um, and then a sentient, he starts creating a story, this kid. And he was always asking stuff with numbers and things like that. Of course, he would take a card, and if it does nothing, he would maybe take another one. But usually he asks a question. There's one time that I believed in it, and he said just because of this, he asked uh, something about are you buried on this graveyard or something like that, and he took a card, and this card was a jack. Actually, he didn't take a card. He put the deck on the floor, and he said, if there is has anything happened to any member of your family, please you know, turn the card or something. And sentient, two cards or three, I don't remember, turned with the wind, and there was a jack, you know. So then he continued the story about, oh, it was your brother. And it, I don't know if it was the way he's done it, but I believed in it. Okay. And he was afraid of it, and we actually stopped the Ouija games. I think we played a few times, but we were never able to do anything. So I never, and then I didn't want to play with it again. I think one time it didn't work, and just didn't want to play it again. I don't know. I didn't find that funny. I don't know. I kind of, here in Portugal, we are very known for witchcraft. I don't know if you know that.
Mm-hmm.
We
Sounds
do
familiar.
believe
Yeah.
in a lot of stuff. We are preconcepted. No, uh, uh, no, not preconcept, is superstitious.
Superstitious. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That would be, I think, accurate word to describe it.
we are very superstitious here, like entering somewhere with the right foot and uh, all those things, you know. We are very religious, and there's a
Yeah, I
big,
noticed that.
yeah, there's a big African community, you know, and then the African bring a little bit of their spiritism as well. And um, there's a lot, but there's a lot of pagan things here in Portugal. And one of the things that here you can find, if you go like to the mountains, for example, you can find sometimes at the entrance of the trail or just next to the road where there's woods, someone will leave like a tray
Mm-hmm.
with a glass of wine, some grapes, some other foods, just like all where well left, you know. And they do some, you know, some sorcery, some witchcraft on that. So I kind of learned not to touch that. Something else I want to say quick on the woods where I go. Just last time I took you there on one of my lives, there is a little mound in the middle of the woods with some granite rocks. And
Mm-hmm.
you go up that little mound and you look there and you see two doll houses. One of them is made by hand, and the other one is kind of from with dolls. And I haven't even gone close to it. I've been metal detecting there, and I get there and I look at them, I show them, but I don't go like closer than 4 meters of it, like I don't go close to it. And they've been cleaning that area, the like the government, the town, the little town center, and natural sentient. They haven't touched the dollhouse. They haven't touched the mound.
Mm-hmm.
Around the mound, it's clean, but it gets to a stage that they stopped. They're not cleaning
Mm-hmm.
that area around where there's the dollhouses. So there is something there, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
Portugal, it is a little bit like that. And I found money there, metal detecting before. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's go back to the UFOs.
Yeah, please share your story because it's
When,
really
when,
interesting.
thank you. I do talk a lot, so do interrupt
That's
me if
great.
you wanna. Okay, interrupt me anytime.
Yeah.
I went to
Bec-
England to study osteopathy when I was 18. Um, I came back. I did. I didn't. I was there studying. I didn't care much. I did see some movies of UFOs and things like that, but I never investigated them. When I came back, about I don't know. I have to say maybe after my father died. Maybe
Mhm.
my father passed away in 2009. So I don't know. Maybe if some years later, I started on Secure Team 10. I don't know if you heard about him. Have you heard about Secure Team 10, the channel?
Mm, no, doesn't ring a bell for
A
now.
Tyler,
So
a Secure Team 10 Tyler. So he's a channel that when he started, he was kind of a youngster, but I was already older than him. He was like on his 20s, and I was like already almost 25 or 26.
mhm.
And he started with the lunar anomalies and UFOs, and it clicked to me like, damn, I had that experience. I should start, investigating that a little bit. And then I found about another channel called Goof On, which I don't go there
Yeah.
anymore. So
Mhm.
I don't want to send anyone there. Okay. So I'm just telling where I started. Then I
Yeah,
found
you're
out
just
about
sharing
another. Yeah,
your
I found
story.
about
That's okay.
third phase of the moon. But then my doors opened. I found about many beautiful channels. And then it got to a stage that I had to start getting real because people were lying and earning money with lies and fakes, and I couldn't stand that. I didn't want to be part of it, and so I left Goof On. I left third phase of the moon. I stayed with the Truth Seekers, who's a good friend of ours of the channel. We met a lot of people through him. I met a lot of people through third phase and Goof On, but some of them they had to choose sides. And
Yes.
then what happened was when I created my channel, it was when I don't know, maybe I had my channel of YouTube since 2007. Just to put my music because I used to do a lot of raves, not raves, but electronic music because I'm an electronic lover music.
Yeah, me
When
as
I was
well.
I
Yeah.
love electro, melodic, and a lot of German things and French. I don't know. I started as a DJ when I was studying osteopathy in England. I went to England when I was 18 to study osteopathy, and
I really like that modality. I have a one friend, as I say,
Yeah,
he's in
I went there
osteopathy
at 18 and I loved it. It was beautiful, but
chiropractic.
you know, it was half and half. I kind of, how can I say, I was involved with someone before I went there, so I had to break it up. And then when I came back after the first year I was studying, things weren't the same. But either way, I had to change my mentality to study and start working after. That's what my parents wanted. So I kind of uh, I put my social life in standby to study for a few years. And then of course I had to catch up, and I'm even though I have 3 kids now and a beautiful family, I still need my social life. And even though I don't go out to parties, I want to see if in the summer I go back at least one or two, if my wife allows me, with my friends, because I have people who don't have kids as well. So I want to, I want to live the best of everything, but I don't want to. I love the family thing. I want to stay like that. But I miss going with my friends like until 2 and 3 a.m. clubbing, just
Oh
with
yeah,
a few beers and smokes, not drugging myself. I can't do that anymore.
just to have your own space for your activities.
Yeah, but when I do that, I have to give the same time to my wife. So it's kind of,
Yes.
it will be harder on me as well for a few days.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway, we have we have
afterwards,
some
what do
question
I
in the
remember?
chat as well. Okay,
Okay, we
so
can do that. We can do that, and I'll catch up afterwards.
yeah, so James is asking, what was your first experience that showed you reality is not quite what we've been taught to believe it is? Really great question.
Okay, so I may have answered that. I think that reality that I've experienced, I think, was when I was a child, and I floated, and I saw, I floated to my ceiling. I think when I had fever. Okay, I think that was maybe my first experience. Otherwise, I one thing is true. When I get sick, I do notice that I I need a little bit the silence, and my dreams are more vivid. So when like, imagine I catch a fever and I'm sick at home, for when I'm at my worst, I get some amazing dreams. I actually had a dream a few days ago. It was so vivid, and I woke up in the morning, uh, maybe to go to the toilet or something, and then I went back to bed, and I had this dream natural that I came to the garden. I don't know why. Uh, this may be related to a UFO I had here in my garden experience, but I'll talk about that later. This dream, I went to the garden and I saw a flying saucer, and I kind of had to run away from it. Okay,
Hmm.
it it
How did
came
it look
so
like?
close. It landed, almost landed like 10 meters in my garden, and then it raised again and it passed on top of me, and sentient. I even remember like it was today, the passing on top of me, like it was a noise. I don't know where I heard it ever, but I heard it. I feel blessed for remembering, because I never remember my dreams. because I
Mm-hmm.
smoke. Okay, so uh, I don't know if everyone knows, but smoking THC cannabis does. I've learned as an osteopath that it reduces your vitality movements in your brain. It reduces your membrane respiration. The membranes I'm talking, it's the falx on your brain, the diaphragm, and the pubic membrane, okay, which is the base of your waist that holds your organs. Those are the three membranes of our body. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was studying osteopathy, uh, we learned with the teachers that cannabis reduces the movement of your breathing of your bones of your brain. So it sometimes it may give you headaches. Okay, so that's what I learned. But what I've been told is that they suppress your dreams, and so I don't usually remember my dreams, only when I'm sick. And when I'm sick is because I have to stop or
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
reduce. But
Yes. So,
yesterday, I didn't have to reduce, not yesterday, some days ago, I had a most vivid dream. The same day, my wife had another dream, but I don't want to divulge it because it's kind of private. So yeah, those are the I think I hope that answered my experiences, like out of I don't have a lot, okay? I never seen aliens, okay? I've only seen orbs. I've seen blue orbs, orange orbs, and that's all like in the last years. Like the more I look to the sky, the more I see. And my mom passed away like end of October, and I got sick for about a month. I think it was COVID. I got sick for a month and I got better after a couple of weeks. And then I got 1 week, I was better. And then I got worse again. And then I got full on fever. I had like a whole week that spot on at 5:30 in the afternoon, my body would start shivering of the cold and I would have to get an extra clothes. And then because my daughter, my baby sleeps with my wife, I have to change clothes before I go to bed. So because of the smell, okay, of the smoke. So sentient, I would have to change clothes and then put a robe and then go to bed with the robe. So, and then I would shiver a little bit because I would have these shivering attacks. So, and that's I think because I never took the vaccine. I'm anti-vaccine. Okay,
yeah, I get
so
it. I
I
get
I
it.
never took anything. My wife took two, and I asked her, please don't take any more. I think you're good now. You don't need to take any anymore. And she and then the farce came down, and then everybody said, oh, nobody needs to take them anymore. Not the farce. If you think about it, sentient, the vaccines made their job, which
Yeah.
was to weaken the virus. Okay, our bodies together with the vaccines,
With the
because they
cocktail.
had
Yeah, let's put
DNA,
the word cocktail or whatever else, just not to
they
go the
created
algorithms.
this good vitality to kick the virus, but at a cost. And the cost is people are dying more quickly now, unfortunately. Okay,
Yeah, because it
people will
compromised
not
the immune system.
they will not admit it, the medical centers, but it's true. What's your
Well,
opinion on that?
it did its job. It did its job, actually to weaken.
It's still doing because um people who have the long CV, they're not gonna last half as much as they would if they hadn't taken the jab, you know. But maybe they could have died of the virus as well. You know what I mean? So it's a equilibrium. You have to go healthy or take the vaccine. You know what I mean?
Mm, I know what you mean, and I
If you're
see and
healthy, you will
envision.
survive. If you're
Yes,
older, maybe not. That's my
you
medical
know,
opinion about that. But
we have immune system that is working usually. That's the system of defense, while we're protecting ourselves. So basically, uh, I'm not
and
up
I
to
think
this,
they're helping us.
especially into the new
The aliens
way.
are helping us. Do you believe that?
Yes, yes, of course, we are being helped because anyway, it could have been much worse, I think, but it's still it has implications. And let's see how it is going to be because yes, the purpose of it was an operation, so uh, to reduce, and it weakens the immune system to the point that it's actually not able, to protect you. And basically, you're like an open book for anything that is outside there. And obviously, it depends, um, like in which what is inside. Because of course, there were some that they supposedly say that it was a control, just like with the saline inside physiology, a liquid. Um, but there were also
Put the
like
microphone
different other
closer.
ones. Yes, okay. So it was just like, no, it's very questionable how it is going to be, and it has really great implications on the
Yes.
health and also the shedding and the radioactivity, because it's like there is there still some emissions, so they're like walking towers. But I still have faith and hope that this is going to be resolved somehow. And yes, like
I think the
you know,
people, we got the power. Okay, the people has the power.
always we
That's
have the
how I
power.
see.
Exactly.
And
Yes, we have the power.
of course, we have to go through the voting system and things like that. We had a little bit of a revolution here this year. Like the far right, they almost won here in Portugal. So um, the president was gonna be the far right guy. So at the end, the left guy won. But I don't think I don't think he's gonna make a lot. I know this guy, and he's he's not that good, and he won because nobody wanted to go to the far right guy, But the truth is that I don't think things are gonna change much now. Even it's look, the far right guy, he's growing. You don't want to know how much. Like he's gonna become like the second biggest or the third. But things are getting confusing here as well.
Mm,
People are not happy. Prices are gone a lot of up. Housing is up a lot as well. Uh, thank God, here in Portugal we are very accommodating people, and there is people with hearts here as well. So there's a lot of people with hearts. So
yeah.
that's what keeps me feeling, happier that things are going well. Sentient, I want to change things back to UFOs. Okay, I want to tell you a story.
Yes,
This
it was
story,
just like very good comment. It's a very good like comment from James. You know, like let's call
thank you,
the names with the
James.
proper name. Yes, so it is as it is. It is gene therapy, and it's obviously interacting with the human genome. So we just see the consequences. I can
James,
feel it.
connect, brother. I'll connect
So
back to
yeah,
you, my brother.
yeah, absolutely. Let's
Let
follow
me
each
tell you a
other. Let's
story.
subscribe.
Thank you.
So
I tried to
let's
put that
continue
in my
back.
channel. Do you like that? Uh, Subscribe, because remember, the big channels, they do not say, oh, subscribe to each other, because they want to, they want all the people for them. And as a small channel, I'm gonna try to keep this golden rule, which is connecting everybody. Okay, if people are not happy with each other, you can connect and leave the connection there and don't go there as often. Okay, I connect with thousands of people. I can't go to every channel, it's impossible. But I may see a post from one here sometimes, and I'll say hello, and then they will stop by, and then I will say hello, and then I'll stop by to them. And that's how it works. We have to give and receive. And sometimes the bigger the channels are, the less help they need. So I like to help the small ones. I'm actually afraid of growing, but do I
No,
want to grow? Of course, do
yeah,
I want to live off UFOs? Of course. Would I love UFOs to send me, a brick of gold once in a while? Of course, I would love that. But if I can remember, one of my objectives is to teach people to protect themselves from UFOs, because as you may know, UFOs, they can be good or they can be not as good, okay?
yes,
But
obviously.
if you are religious, even if you're not religious, if you pray, if you meditate to God when you see a UFO, so it doesn't get too close to you, I can promise you that if you pray while you're watching the UFO, it will go away, because the UFOs, they only appear to people who wants to be visited by them.
Yes, we give
Okay?
them a consent. We ask actually for contact.
Yeah. Yesterday night, I was watching the Betty Hill. I saw two or three old interviews of her, and there is a point that she focuses a lot, and she tells this: when I saw the star following us, I opened the window and invited them, and that's why they came. But she was a little bit, I think she was a little bit taken advantage, in the sense that she could have been a little bit drunk because of the dinner where she was, and maybe she was kind of more happy, and that's why she kind of maybe accepted them, without fearing them, and that's why they came. Either way, look, I'm not saying it's true, but I kind of, it's hard to me to believe in those stories, but I try to put myself in their skin, okay? And there are some details missing, which I would have asked her, but either way, it's a beautiful case, and there are some things that I do try to connect the dots, you know. Either way, let me tell you the story. Some years ago, I was in my window and I was smoking in the window, and I have like a persimmon tree, and so the branches were like, this is like the top of the window, okay? Uh, sorry, the top of the window, and then the roof a little bit up, and then a little bit lower down was the branches of the tree. So I had like a little square of sky, dark sky, no clouds at all, no stars in that square of sky. And I don't know what came in the UFO's head to appear to me, because I didn't ask that much. I just thought to myself, what if something appeared on that patch of beautiful dark sky, okay? It was like 10 o'clock, I think. Um, the story's longer, okay? The story's longer, but I'm gonna go back. So I think that, what if something appeared? Because you know, sentient, when you see all the UFO cases and things like that, that's how they start, you know. People are just enjoying looking at the stars, and then they see a falling star, and that's beautiful, you know. You see a satellite, it's beautiful. But, you know, when we see something that you literally cannot explain, and what happened was a star appeared out of darkness, okay? A
Hmm.
star appeared, and I'm like, and I start thinking to myself, you know, like, did I see? Didn't I just ask for something to appear?
Hmm.
That was my
Yeah.
thought. And then the
Beware of your
chicken skin,
thoughts, what you wish
and
for.
then the chicken skin, and I'm like, damn it! And this star appears, and it starts lighting up like Venus. Okay, it becomes like Venus with a little bit some rays, you know, really strong, powering up. That's what we call it. I had learned about the powering up already, but I had never seen it. You know, I had never seen it. And that day I saw it facing south. It appeared, it flashed. I think it was the white color or
Hmm.
orangey. I'm not sure now. I cannot remember that one. Um, it was beautiful, and then it started dimming down, and it became a star. And I'm like, damn it, is it gonna disappear? And then it disappears. So this happened maybe in like 50 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. I don't know. It was really quick. I
Hmm.
go,
Yeah.
look, I didn't stop looking at it because it was so quick. And then I went straight to my wife. She was in the living room, and I said, hey, wifey, I just saw, I was still smoking. I just saw a star appearing, and it became really strong, and I cannot explain it. It's really weird. And she's like, oh, shut up. Don't come with that stuff. And so that's really the sighting. But I'm gonna tell
Hmm.
you what happened before, and a few minutes later, the UFO sighting. So that morning, I woke up, and I I opened my YouTube, and I saw a friend of mine was gonna do a giveaway. At the time, I'm not gonna give names, okay? But uh, he was gonna give money and a few pieces from a very nice friend that does energies and things like that. She's a wonderful lady, and I really love her. I don't want to say who she is because of the story, but because it's a nice story. It's a beautiful story, but I don't want to give publicity because of my UFO story relating to them because it wasn't I just won the prize. That's what happened. So that morning I saw and I said, "Oh, I'm not going to enter the giveaway. I don't care about it." And then that night I had the UFO sighting, and that night that giveaway started the show. They done the whole show, and I didn't want to participate. I didn't even said hello because if I said hello, I would have to participate in the giveaway. And so
Yeah.
so basically when I saw the UFO, I knew I was going to win. Okay, so when I saw the UFO made me play it, okay? So basically when the time came to write the thing, I wrote the magic word, and then I said the UFOs made me do it. The UFO made me do it. And
Beautiful.
so I kind of didn't think nothing. I didn't think I was going to win. So the show ended. The show ended. He was gonna do the giveaway. I wrote my name, and then I was with my wife, so I kind of I didn't. I just left and I went to do something else. Maybe I was checking some other channel. I don't know. I don't remember. The truth is that the next day, my brother Carlos comes to me and says, "Oh, you won the prize!"
Yeah.
So I won $50, so I was really happy. So it was the first time that I won money with the UFOs, so I was pretty happy about that.
That was the great download for you.
Beautiful. I tell you, it was like the best download I ever had. It was instant. Like,
Amazing. Yeah.
it wasn't instant, it was a minutes.
But it helped. It's
So
usually
that
very
was one.
short.
That was one of them. Then to the west, I usually see golden orbs. So I saw my mom passed away, but on ends of October. Before that, I had seen a golden orb when I was with my brother Raymond. I don't know if you met my brother Raymond. Is Raymond and Norma. They are my friends from America. They live in the countryside. They're beautiful. He's part of the cannabis community, and I was watching his live here on on my window one night, and there's a building here, and like it's about maybe like 500 meters west, and then it's like a two-story building and house, and it looked like this orange orb was being like spit out of the balcony of this house. So because it's quite lower down on the horizon, this is like the building, and then appearing out of nowhere, an orange orb starting to power up, moving to the left from the building. And
Wow.
that was the first time.
Mhm.
That was maybe like I don't know. No, it wasn't the first. I don't know, maybe half a year or something. But I've seen UFOs like 3 or 4 years ago when I went to the south. All of my family had a sighting when we were traveling on the highway, coming back from the holidays. I saw like it was like this shape, okay, like a seagull, like that, like a V,
Mm-hmm.
but an arched V, okay, like that, more an arched like that. It looked like a seagull when you just draw them on the painting.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 5 o'clock. The sun was setting on my left. We were driving on the highway, and it is an area where there are where there is a airport. But the thing was that I was traveling towards it, and you know when you're traveling and on your left of the highway you see the cables traveling along
Yes.
the highway, about three cables, and they go like waving and always up and down like that. I was watching on the cables on the left of the highway that seagull being shined by the sun, so it was like orange color, but it looked like it was the sun hitting the cables, and as the cables went down I would see it and then I wouldn't see as much. But then as soon as we left the cables, it was we got closer and it was right on top of a mound there. And what I saw was that, and then from the seagull like that, and from one of the sides there was like, it looked like a string going right, and then there was like a darkened square. So it was a little bit strange what I saw, but my wife saw the seagull, my son saw the seagull, I saw the seagull, and then I also saw that dark on the left, on the right, sorry, and then like a structure uniting the V to the little square. I'm still thinking that could it be an airplane and we were traveling on the direction of the airplane? But then I do think we saw airplanes. My wife took the camera, she did a video, and nothing appeared on the video. Okay, so nothing was seen on the video. But my son saw something, and my wife as well. That's when my wife started believing in these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
sometimes they don't want to be on the footage.
yes, I think so. Yes, and uh, look, the thing is that as you become an observer, a sky watcher, you start looking for patterns, okay? And that's what I've been doing. And my brother from Florida that sends me the videos that I post. Have you seen my Florida UFO videos? Those
Yeah,
are very
I've checked some
similar.
DVS. I'll get back to your channel.
Yeah, comment on my channel and I usually answer them, but if there's something really important, email me, okay? Because sometimes I get late on the comments. Sometimes I need like a full day of answering comments, you know what I mean? So I'm a bit lazy on that, but I'm working on it. But if I'm doing answering comments, I'm not investigating, and so I want to do the
Yeah.
investigating because I want to share what I learn with everybody, and I want us all to become specialists.
Well, I
Yes,
can
I,
say
I'm,
it's
I
all
am very
about
positive. And
experience. It's about experiencing that and observing, actually.
yes, I am noticing that as we become professional observers, we also become very um, connected with life, and we start reading people very well, and we kind of have dreams when bad things are gonna happen. So I've kind of had some predictions myself, sentient.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do have some messages sent to me when I feel something's gonna happen. So usually when it happens, I'm already kind of expecting it. So I'm a bit
Yes.
pessimist as well. So I may look very positive, but I am sometimes I can be pessimist as well. So,
Yeah,
but I
I
had
would
some
call it
predictions
like
myself.
more realistic, maybe. I wouldn't say that's so pessimistic, but you can actually, you have some, let's call it, you're very intuitive and psychic.
Yes, yes. My grandfather, he's the one who put me into space, by the way, now that I remember. My grandfather, he left me a lot of books. Carl Sagan, um, Stephen Hawking, Asimov. You know Asimov?
Isaac Asimov, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. The book Space One and Space Two. It's an American. I never read them. I'm not a reader. I never been a reader. So
You
I'm a
rather
listener.
experience on your own.
I'm a
Yes.
listener and a watcher. So I love watching videos and the sky, but I do not read very much. So I hate to read. I have to admit that. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
No, don't be sorry. That's the way how you actually learn things. Some people they are more visual. Some people prefer, to
I'm
read.
very audio. I love audio. Actually, one of my best ways of investigating now sentient is before I go to bed and when I wake up. So before I go to bed, I love falling asleep. Actually, I this is something that it's not a an advice to anyone because like I told you my friends, I'm not perfect, you know. Maybe like 3 or 4 years ago that I go to bed and I don't remember going to bed without listening to any UFO stories. So I probably listen to every story you can see on YouTube. Not all, but because there's millions, but I've seen a lot. I've heard a lot. And so when you hear a lot, you start creating patterns. And so even if I'm sleeping, if if somebody's bullshitting, okay, on what I'm watching, I will fall asleep or I will take the phones out and I will take it. But if it's something that I feel it's true, I won't take the phones and then, I do move a lot. So when I wake up, the phones are not with me anymore and the phone is still going. And but so am
Yeah, that's
I
very
being
healthy.
taught
Not to sleep with the
to
phone.
this reality, maybe this digital reality, maybe, but the UFOs, I cannot explain them. So that's what I'm trying to focus is other people's experiences, being a good person, helping the family and things, and not try to step over people and things like that. Look, I've had my share of people being evil to me. uh, and I still have that happening. But now I have this protection, which is I have a lot of friends on YouTube, and I have a lot of people who think positive about me, and that does help me, you know, overcome, whatever bad feelings I'm having, or any stress, or, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you for sharing.
But,
This is great
we
community.
are human, right?
Also
And
human. Yes, we are having human experience.
like my family is not a perfect family, but I can tell you that it was perfect until maybe, when my father passed away. So until 2009, uh, I was very pampered, and, you know, um, I had all my wishes fulfilled, you know.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have a brother, an older brother. And so, we've had I've ended up going to study abroad. My brother ended up staying here. So, I've always been a little bit more adventurous, but, somebody has to take that spot, so I kind of, I've done the wishes that my father wanted me. And I do appreciate it, because it's gonna give me tools if I ever have to leave my this house that I'm living right now. So some big things are gonna start happening, which, maybe me moving. Um, but I don't know. I kind of I think like this. For me to leave this house, I need to go to a better house. So that's my condition to leave the house. So never
Mhm.
go to worse. I have to, if I leave, is to go to a better place, and maybe a
Yes.
bigger a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have a big
great.
family, so,
It
and we
resonates
want
with
one
you.
more. My wife
Hmm.
wants one more, so the fourth.
Wow. Okay.
May the
That's
fourth
great.
be with you.
Yeah. Kudos to you.
Yeah, that's part of my job. Sentient is parenting. I'm a freelancer. Like I told you, I don't work for anyone. I've always had bad experiences working for other people.
Yeah. I mean, it's a better option to work for yourself and to reach your dreams, what you really
Yes,
like,
look,
rather
you
than
don't. I
working
don't
on
need to live.
other one things.
Yeah, we don't need to live like, with a lot. We don't need a lot, and that's what I'm starting to learn about life. Is that the less you have, the happier you are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting to become, I don't want too much stuff. I don't want my kids to fight like I'm gonna fight, and I'm already fighting for, you know, what's our families. So I want a lot of kids, so at least they can gang up against each other.
Mm-hmm. And do you read actually? Do you see the comment from James that you need a house with better energies? And actually, I can feel that as well. Yeah.
Yes, but that's that, I don't know what that means because I've never moved. So it's something new.
Maybe that's why there is like a change going on your mind that maybe.
Yes, yes, yes. Look, the change, it always ends up in money, unfortunately. But like I told you, I do not need a lot. I I'm gonna do things to keep the house, even if I only keep the house and maybe something else. But I don't need a lot. I don't want my kids fighting for laziness, because that's what it is really. You're fighting to be lazy, and you know I'm not I already lazy enough to
Yeah,
want
basically,
them to
in another
fight
words,
for.
it's
Let them
like
work.
in the comfort zone, being in the comfort zone, because then it's about transforming your spaces, and do the revision. And if I'm really happy where I
I do
am.
believe cosmic as well. The comment, I do
Mhm.
know that no, I do not know. It is alleged that the government has silent hovering technology. Okay.
Yes, we know they have since Germany, since they actually 90 something, they
Yes, the
reconstructed
the the
craft. So yes,
hullabaloo,
they have. Yes.
the hullabaloo. Yes,
So I
and
have a
that
good
explains a
comment
lot.
here. Yeah, that is as well. And I will pull up a question from James. James had a question also about, like, what's your strangest cryptid experience?
Oh my gosh! Thank you for
Because you
reminding
mentioned
me.
UFOs, you mentioned orbs. So basically, we talk all the time about some sort of cryptids. But now we are going direction like Mothman, Bigfoot, and this way. So
Look, the cryptids is interesting because I've always liked to hike, but when I started becoming friends with people that enjoyed Bigfoot and believed in it and talked about it, I I tried entertaining the idea. Okay, what happened one night? I was with a friend in the woods, and sentient. There was no wind at all. No wind. There was a little bit of fog. It was summer. There was no wind at all. It was just a little bit of foggy. It was a bit dark because the trees were big, and we had an area which we used to walk there. It took maybe about I don't know 5-10 minutes from the road to the woods. Find that little place. We would drink a beer. We would sky watch a little bit. I would try and watch something. Never caught, only maybe a satellite. Never caught any UFOs, anything there. I hiked a lot of nights, okay, clear skies. I never saw any UFOs. One day we are there just talking and no wind, quite warm. My friend, I remember he was wearing shorts because it was summer. And I didn't use the shorts. I was always with pants, sport pants all the way down because of the animals, the critters and stuff like that. And maybe snakes. And sister, we're talking there and we hear a huge branch breaking. It wasn't a small one. It wasn't like a branch that no, it was like katrapoom. you know, like it looked like someone was sawing it and it was falling like, "Pow!" And me and my friend, look, I was straight away, I was shivering with chicken skin. Like I was like, let's find it. I said, look, come with me, let's find it. We didn't move much, but we went with the lights and look, the ground was full of burnt wood because there had been a fire there before, so there was mixed. So it could have just been a tree that was almost falling, and because it was foggy day,
Mhm.
the water was more on the branch and then on the tips, and then it toppled over, you know. But I kind of everything came in my mind, and at the end, I thought it was Bigfoot. I had that feeling, okay.
Mhm.
But the most funny story that happened was that Bigfoot sent us a surprise as well. Do you want me to tell you what was the surprise?
Well, that would be great if you still have time. I'd
The
love to hear that.
surprise, the surprise was that I'm not sure if it happened first or after, but I think first was the toppling over of the tree. And then, of course, I started becoming a little bit wary of everything. And then I point the light to the ground, to my friend's feet. And he was stepping over, you know, like when the ground has a lot of dry leaves and it becomes a layer of leaves, you know? So,
Yes.
like,
Hmm.
and I look and I looked and and there was something slimy under his foot. And I'm like, look, you're stepping over like a wet leaf, but it hasn't rained for a few days and
Hmm.
it's really hot. And I look, there's something weird about that. And look, when I go closer with my phone and the flash, I saw that slimy thing was moving. Okay, like that. And it was moving from under his foot and the brush, you know, the leaves, underneath like a big trunk where
Hmm.
we put the beers, you know. It's like where we it's like a little table where we put the beers and stuff. And so this little snake was was hiding from us, maybe hiding from the Bigfoot as well. Maybe it was hiding from where the thing fell. And it was close. It was very close. It was too close to comfort that we never went back to that exact same spot again. We stayed 10 meters. The brush started growing as well, so there was a little arch of a little tree that had an arch, and I took some photos. And one day I was kind of moving it and it kind of broke on my fingers. So I don't know if that happened. I think I broke the little branch, and then later on it was when that happened. And I haven't gone there since last end of the summer. So at the beginning of autumn last year, when it started becoming winter and cold, I stopped going there because my mother passed away as well, and
Hmm.
so I haven't gone hiking, but I can't wait to go back there.
Hmm.
There's a place with a fallen tree. There's like a huge tree that fell, and it's like supporting itself on other trees, and it's on a downhill, like a steep downhill. And so there's a little lake down with a lot of a little river, and I call that the fairy river because that's where
Beautiful.
there's a lot of
Mhm.
mosquitoes, so I kind of call it the fairy river.
Where is it
And
in Portugal? And which part is it in Portugal?
what you mean?
And where is it in Portugal? Like near where do you live, or in which part
I
of the
live in
country?
Porto, near Porto.
Hmm. Okay, so it's
Uh,
north of Portugal.
yeah, I live close to the maritime River Douro. So where the River Douro goes
Hmm.
into the sea, I live south a little bit, a
Hmm.
few kilometers. So I'm like 10 minutes from Porto, 15 minutes from Porto, and 5 to 10 from the Gaia city,
Vila
like
Nova de
south.
Gaia. Hmm.
Have you been to Gaia?
Yes, it's like the crossing the other side, from Porto. I've been there once
Yeah,
on both
it's
sides.
the land of port wine, and wine,
Mhm.
and the English this city, much of it is owned by the English, like hotels and the best riverfront apartments and
Uh, I'm
the
worried that's
port
like
wine.
most of the country because it's like a very good, holiday, not only holiday destination.
Yes,
For
tourists,
people
a
from
very
north,
touristy
from the
place.
north, where it's more cold, so they're traveling more to
But
the
we are
south.
not a summer, we are not like a beach go place. It's
It's
like,
more rainy, as I
yeah, it's
notice. It's
it's
more
cooler in the
rainy.
summer. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you want summer, we go to the south, like Lisbon or south. North of Lisbon, it starts becoming cooler, so and humid, so it's not good for arthritis.
Mhm. Okay, so when we talk about your UFO sightings and watching, all happened actually like in the north of Portugal where you are.
No, 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 no. I've
Not
told you,
only.
I had this last summer. I was in the south for 2 weeks, and me and my kids on the journey to the south, we saw
Okay, in
a
the south.
big. I don't know what it was, but it was like it looked like a shooting star, but much slower, and it became blue. And when you go south, the night is so starry that it's crazy. You can see like, like here in the north, you can see a few stars, okay? You go south and you can see thousands. It's like dots in the sky. Like if you want to look for the Ursa Major and things like that, you have to look easy. It's more difficult because you have a lot of them, but those are stronger. But there's a lot of other small ones. Here in the north, you just see the Ursa Major and
Mhm.
the but I've seen in the south, I've seen the blue orbs. I've seen the seagull. That was like 3 years ago, four maybe, with the family. Um, we were only four at the time, I think. Mel wasn't born yet. Um, here in the north, it's the golden orbs or white orbs. That's what I
Mhm.
see here in the north.
Okay.
I never seen a saucer, a metallic saucer. Okay, I never seen a daylight UFO. I see a lot of airplanes, but never saw a orb, a disc, nothing like that. But
Me
I
neither.
have a
Yeah.
I have a no. Okay, I'm
Not like the physical craft. I haven't
never
seen, but I
seen a
see
metallic craft.
those
No,
passing during the night on the night sky. Those ones, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but I have a friend, one of my best friends, and it's interesting because when I was younger, he told me the story, and I wasn't interested. And then when I started my channel, he came back to me, and my other friend said, "Look, our really good friend he saw some metallic discs, real crafts. Have I told you that?" And I said, "No, I don't remember." And he said, "Yes." And then I said, "Okay, I think I remember now." So when that friend told me, I wasn't interested. I didn't care. I was interested in woman, partying and, you know, everything but UFOs. That reminds me, do you know when on celebrations they have the lead balloons? Have you seen them?
Uh, on which celebrations?
Okay, so when there's marriages,
Mhm.
you
You
know,
mean those balloons of happiness that they actually fly high? You
yes,
wish for
yes,
something
yes,
and then you let it fly. You mean those
yes, and they
ones?
all go
Mhm.
together, and then most of them they're blinking. The ones in my when I got married, a friend of my wife said, "Oh, do you want? We can offer you the lead balloons." And I said, "Oh, that would be nice." Okay, because I enjoyed the UFOs already a little bit and stuff.
Mhm.
But I've seen those some year, like I got married in 9 years ago, so I probably seen them like 15, 20. Yeah, when I was in the pub here nearby, we were on the pub and we looked to the night sky and we saw a lot of stars blinking, and people call them the all of the UFOs together, but those are not, okay? So
No.
we have to
Yeah.
understand the difference. And the ones I've seen, I've always thought they were balloons. I've seen them maybe once or twice, I'm not sure. But at the time, my friends, oh, and I said, oh, those are balloons. But we also have the spotlights. They point them to the sky. And if it's cloudy, you will see the light moving on the top, but you won't see the beam. So we have to be careful. So uh, I've seen a lot of stuff, but natural. I've seen a much more fake stuff, which is not fake. It's, the spotlights, they use it on the clubs to attract people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you go to a nightclub, a chic nightclub, they will have a spotlight pointing to the sky like Batman, you know?
Mhm. Yes.
And that's a culture thing. The blimps, they are a culture thing in America, but not as much here in Portugal and Europe. The lead balloons, they are, but then, you have to understand if they blink, most likely they are balloons. But if they do not blink, they could still be lead balloons without blinking lights. So you kind of have to think of the weather. So I love the weather, uh, um, climatology. Of course, I love the weather because I want to know if I want to tomorrow I want to go to the beach, or if the family wants to go, things like that. But I
Yeah, of
love the
course.
weather because of the mystic about the sun and the energies. And I don't know if you know about people are there is a channel, the Solar Suspicious Observers. They are saying that there's gonna be 2040. There's gonna be the tilting of Earth, and there are a lot of archaeologists who found out about. He's coming with a theory that the mammoths, they were found with undigested food in their stomach and their mouth, all frozen. But there, he's saying that mammoths, they were not in it to that area of the Arctic, and there was no food for them there, like the quantities of food they need. So he's kind of saying that they were frozen south of the North Pole, of the Antarctic, whatever, one or the other. They were frozen and thrown towards Antarctica. So he's coming with some really crazy ideas. I think that he believes in them, but I also think that he wants to sell his courses. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So what I'm doing is I'm entertaining the idea without having to change my life a lot. Like I'm gonna keep my life the same, but if I have the chance of having maybe a plot in the mountain, I will entertain that idea. If it doesn't work, I don't know, it's just a house or whatever. But I do look, if I believe it's going to happen, no. But if I think the levels of the water are going to go up, yes. Okay. Uh, There may be a tsunami. Portugal is a very high earthquake area,
Mm-hmm.
and we
It
haven't
is.
had one for a while. So when everything's too peaceful, we need to understand why and maybe prepare a little bit.
That's a very good idea.
But one of my biggest preparations is to be happy. And if I have to go, at least I'll go happy. That's what I want to use my time good here on earth.
Yeah, and you are doing that already. So thank you.
i'm
I
i'm
can.
trying i'm trying I'm trying to live more with my work and less with what I already have, uh, like beginning, starting from the beginning every year, every day start from the beginning. That's how I live my life.
And every day there are new opportunities.
Yes, yes, thank God. But I do not mind to have more time for UFOs and family, because work is essential. But I don't want to be slave of work. But I don't want to also be stressing out about bills and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a mix, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there is no way back. Where you've been before. But
Yeah,
it's
we,
it's
we
like
cannot do nothing about it. It's
yeah, but it's like kind of thing that in our community, there's like the period of time that we struggle to find independence. When it comes on finances, that we struggle simply,
after
and
the
there's
storm comes the good weather.
yes, that's a great
That's how I
actually.
feel.
That's a great approach. So yeah, everything that happens is a gift. Have the higher self
Yes,
perspective,
it's a
seeing
gift and
things.
a lesson as well.
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, I'm really grateful, because that you came on the show because I feel your positive energy, that's already that spirit.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for noticing
yes, I noticed
and
that.
asking me.
I noticed that. And,
Uh,
you
Thank you.
know, yes, so I really like to talk about I would love to talk more about the UFOs and about of your experiences and about,
Do you want to talk a little bit about if we can talk a little bit about Fatima, if you
no,
want
I
to
know that
finish.
the appearance, yeah,
And
of the
I was just saying that
Mount
friend
Meru.
of mine that
Hmm.
saw the two discs on 2013
Yeah, please share
on
that.
the 23rd of July at 11 o'clock. He was on the balcony with his wife. He wasn't married yet. And two flying saucers with no windows, no lights, hovered over his balcony 20 meters above his head. No sound. He told me the only reason he saw it was because it was a full moon and he wears glasses. It was night already and they passed slowly and the light of the moon glinted on the UFO and hit him on his glasses.
Wow, yeah.
Beautiful, right?
Beautiful
And
story.
then and
They were
then the UFOs
to
traveled to the sea. They both stopped on top of the sea over a big bridge. We have Ahabi the bridge. It's actually a bridge that a lot of people throw themselves, unfortunately.
suicide bridge, yeah, you mean?
Yeah,
Mm.
it's not, but there are a lot of cases of that because it's a big one and there's no lower level and there is no escaping. There's a highway passing on top, and it's like the best bridge we have here on River Dodo. And then one of the UFOs, I don't know if you know, but where I live, it's in near the River Dodo. It's an area where the airplanes they cross when they come from east, which is Spain,
Mhm. Yes.
north and south. So and they all cross here to land on the airport. So one of the UFOs followed the airplane to make sure it landed, or that's my theory. It either made sure it landed well, or it was curious and it just went. And then when it landed, it came back, it met with the other one, and they both traveled south. So, and that all took like 5-10 minutes. That's what he told me. I have another case of another friend of nearby that he was with his girlfriend and he said that the it was very foggy and the sky opened and he saw a fleet of UFOs crossing that
Mhm, mhm.
area that opened up. But his wife was next to him and she saw nothing. I'm not sure if she also saw the clearing of the fog. I'm not sure, but it wasn't a lot. It was a little bit of the patch cleared, and he saw the UFOs crossing, and he saw saucer, donut shaped, with lights, with no lights, so orbs. He said he saw like a huge variety. So I I I have a lot of cases here, but my main belief comes from that good friend that saw the two discs, the one I just told you, the one before, and my experiences. So that's really, and everything you see on the internet, which is a lot, it's a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot on the
Yes.
internet. And not
Yes.
all of it is fake,
And
it cannot
check
be fake.
John's YouTube channel, which I also put the chat into the description. So check it out.
Thank you
Mm,
very much for posting.
yes. So people,
It's always a pleasure.
subscribe to your channel and watch more videos with you content, with, about your experiences. And yes, I mean that I find it, at least all what you say, all of the sightings, it really depends if your heart is open, if you're open actually to admit and allow that there are other beings that can show up in our space.
Do you want
So
a last story?
yeah, that's why it depends. Just saying that if someone sees them and someone not, right? Because that really depends how open your heart is, especially your heart space.
And
And yes,
who you
please,
are with.
who you are, yes. And
Do
like,
not
you know,
go, do not go sky hunting with, look, the friends that I go on the past, which I never saw UFO. Look, I had a friend that I used to go with him every weekend to the woods from, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night till maybe midnight, 1 o'clock. And natural, I never saw anything. And I'm thinking about that now. Why? Why? And you know the truth. One of them, one of them, he loves UFOs, but
okay.
he's not worthy. He's not worthy of them. Okay. The other friend of his doesn't believe in them. So I've wasted so many nights going there with him. It was good because I walked and we hiked and stuff. It was good exercise. But in terms of UFOs, I would go there, stay a little bit with him, and then his other friend would always be like depressed and he wouldn't we couldn't talk UFOs because he would shut up and then he would be sad and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of said to my friend, the one that liked UFOs, I said, look, I don't mind coming here on the weekdays because your other friend doesn't come, but don't invite me to come here when your friend comes because he's always depressed. He rubs on to me and he's your friend, he's not my friend. Okay, I come here for the positive, I do not come here for the negative. I told him, look, it rubs off on me, I don't want anything to do with the negative. So I'm good with him and talking with him, but do not ask me to be his friend. So I didn't want to be his friend because look, it's just not someone that syncs with me. Like he's depressive. I cannot stand depressive people.
Yeah.
My mother was a depressive person, and I had enough problems with her all our lives. So
You know,
it was I do not, I don't have patience for that. So
no,
look,
it's
look,
anger
in life,
turned
you know what
inwards.
you don't like. You don't know what you like, but you know what you don't like. And that's how I live,
It's
right?
great that you set up your boundaries, and James wrote very good. They once believe can filter what one sees and can't see.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Look, I'm so sensitive that then later on, I had a argument with my good friend because at the end of the day, it was all politics. He was a left extremist, and his other friend was like a left lazy person. And so he was helping him out, and he wanted me to help him out as well. And I said, look, I have a wife, I want to have kids, I don't need to take care of adult kids. I don't need adult kids. I told him, I don't need adult kids with a family. You know what I mean? Who are better, that live better than me, you know. They have, look, look, I hate victims, and you know, I hate
You just said
depressive
it.
victims. Yeah,
Yes, adults,
I
adults, uh, adult kids. It's exactly indeed the victim mentality.
and parasites. I do smell parasites in a mile. And so either way, it was rough because I lost that friend, but he was never my friend. And my wife saw him a while ago, like a few days ago, and he said he sent me hugs. And okay, am I gonna contact him? No, because it's we're done.
Yes, of course, it's great
Everything
to
goes
have
down to your
set
politics,
up
and
healthy boundaries
keep your
and be
boundaries.
selective
Yes,
whom you surround yourself, because then it actually you are setting up a baseline for your frequency. You know, you don't want to surround yourself with those that actually lower your frequency and that
yes,
actually hold
never.
you down.
It holds us down, right? So look, I do love to help people in need, and I do help. I have one of those people who parks the cars in the parking areas. Do you know them? Do you have them there? The drug addicts who park the cars and then ask for a coin. We have them
There's
here a
more
lot.
people on the streets, let's put it this way.
Yeah. And here in my town, we have a few of them. And I have one that every time I see him, I will stop the car. So there's one guy that I like him. And if I see him, I will stop and I will talk with him. And if I see him on the groceries, I will buy him food and say, "Oh, do you need anything?" And so I do like to help, but I'm not that person that can help a lot of everybody. I'm more of the I need help.
I can
I'm
relate.
more
I
of
can
a the
relate.
I need work, not help, but I need work. So
It's good to be empathetic, or empathic with others and to feel compassion. But first of all, we get to sort out our life and help ourselves.
yes, and I just like to warn people about UFOs and tell what's going on the news. And I do see that I'm starting to find my space on ufology. You know what I mean? That's how I feel really right
I
now.
feel that
I'm
as well.
slowly, but I tell you, I've felt this since the beginning when I had like 100 subscribers. And I tell you, what happens is we start getting into a lot of communities. And when we find ourselves, we are in a very big channel talking, and that big channel sends you a few people. And then if you connect back and visit them, and then just follow your what how you did with me, follow your heart. Of course, I do like to cling on to bigger channels, yes, but I do not get much response from them, I have to admit. That's why I try to keep with the people who have experiences, the people who don't have subscribers. That's who I like to connect. And but look, I because I'm an interviewer, okay, I like to investigate. So those are the people I like to talk with. But like Tennessee, we started he started with experiences, and then he starts getting more, and um, slowly by slowly we get new experiences. I do love doing the sky watch and catching them. Like, imagine, let me see if they're here.
Yeah, I also like to watch the night sky and just be observe what is up there.
Okay, I think I saw something over there, but it's cloudy.
So, do you
It's
use any other
cloudy.
gear for sky watching? Do you use any other gear for that for this purpose?
Okay, so I am still a bit on the beginning of the sky watching. Okay, in what way? I did buy a camera, like a $250 camera some years ago, but a Bushnell's, but it was for the woods. It wasn't for the stars. So I've learned that if you want to look to the stars, you need a good photographic camera
Yeah.
or a psionics. I, I'm I've been saving for a psionics. They cost like $500. The thing is that I I've seen a lot of video footage of the psionics, and it's beautiful. And if I get one, I'm gonna catch them for sure, because psionics catches them even when you don't see them. Okay, so you will see them on the camera, but nothing in the sky with your eyes. So uh, I want to I want to do more the cameras that can catch the lights, uh, and with the eyes. You know what I mean? So I want to catch things that everybody can see, and not something that only the camera
Mhm.
can see. So
That would be
I'm not
great.
in a hurry to buy that camera. You know what I mean? I'm not in a hurry right now. Natural. I'm more interested in learning the patterns of when they come, because they do not come every day. They come weekly, but the skies, they get foggy and cloudy, so you always have to count on that. So my experience is, I'm starting to understand that they need a little bit of a reason. Okay, so what I think is happening is they're appearing either for me or for others, and I'm lucky enough to catch them. Okay, or they're appearing for me once in a while because I miss them, and just something like that. But I do not need to see them, because I already dream with them. You know what I mean? Like, I think I already traveled the cosmos, and I think I'm already on that stage. There's something else I want to tell you. Every day I go to bed, if I close my eyes for maybe, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds, if for any reason I open them, sometimes I see some flashing lights. And so I have to open them and close my eyes quickly, and open them and close them. And they look like some quick thundering sometimes, and orbs, and sometimes they connect with each other. Uh, I'm still trying to find out if that's my eyes, because our eyes have water, and they have bubbles, and if you at night, you may notice the bubble of air on your eyes easier if it's dark. and because it's low light, maybe the rods, one of your visual receptors may be very sensitive to a little bit light, and then when you open it, those uh, like bubbles of water may become lighted up. So I'm still not sure, but I see those sometimes before I go to bed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've had experiences when I pass out. When you like, I've had some passing outs. Like if I wake up too sudden and I hadn't sleep a lot the night before. Like that happened once or twice where I had to wake up really fast and I went to bed late, which is the usual because I'm always on the American channels, and they are 5 hours behind me.
Yeah, same
Um,
here.
so that's why I live more at night. But people say, "Oh, if they say to me, oh, you just like to live the night and then sleep the morning," I just say, "Look, I'm not lazing out. I'm kind of investigating. So I kind of have a reason for that. But I do love socializing.
Mhm.
That's how I've grown, really. It's because of the socializing. I talk with everybody, and I subscribe to everybody, and um, that's how I've grown, really. And I've met some nice people who sent me a lot of subscribers. Uh, you know, so that's really how I've grown, I think. So I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't think I don't have. I don't think I'm particularly special. You know what I mean? Like I haven't had like that experience that makes everybody wants to meet me and things like that. I don't know if I really want that experience. I don't want to become famous for that. I kind of, if I become YouTube half famous, I'll be happy. I think, look, I'm good right now with what I got because every day I grow. Everybody I meet people, and like we just met James. Thank you, James, for the questions.
yeah, and
I
for
do
the
like to be
comments.
challenged. I love
Yeah,
that.
James has really great comments today. So together with
I
Phil,
can't wait to
also
have you
voice.
on my channel, sister, okay, to complete this osmosis, okay? Because I really want to know about you more. Yeah, I feel you haven't talked enough tonight.
It would be a pleasure if you like to invite me. I can share also some of my experience. But tonight it was
Yes, yes,
more. I was
we're gonna
I'm
do
you
that
know
soon.
about your experience. And so yes, if you would like to, we can exchange.
I'd love to because I just when I tell about myself, I kind of feel that I want to know more about you, and I owe you that as well. I don't owe you, but I want to know more, and people
Yeah,
deserve to know more about
exactly. And it's
us
great that we
common people.
connect. That we connect and we share. Because sharing is
Yes,
caring, and that's how we support each other. So that's actually great stuff.
yes.
So
I'm
would
so
you like
glad I
to?
shared I shared you out tonight with Dolly and Raven. They
Yeah, thank you
are they're
everyone who
amazing.
joined and who will watch on replay. So would you, can you please
I'm gonna share
tell?
your live on my channel when it's available. I'm gonna
Yes,
share you.
absolutely. I will send you. I
I
put
can't
your
wait.
YouTube channel to the description of the video. Would you like to share another contacts for you except your YouTube channel? Where can
Thank
people
you.
find you?
Yep, I'm John P Adventures. John P. Adventures.
Yeah, that's your
That's my
YouTube
name.
channel. So I will share that. Do you have any other channel that you would like
Yeah,
me
everything
to
is there. My
mention?
email. If
Okay.
anyone has experiences, they send go to my description. There's my email there. That's how we met. That's how we started contacting. Roger is a good friend. I've known him
Yes.
for like
Thank you.
4 or 5 years already. So we do find friendships here. Thankfully, sister. I hope you are enjoying as much as me. Um,
Yes, it's a pleasure. It's a
this,
pleasure to
you
hear
know,
your story, your experience, and yeah, hope it's not the last time that we talk. Actually, really.
yeah. Look, there's an invitation for part two. I just have to maybe remember a little bit more things because it's it. I must have some more things um, that I can remember. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean
I'm
that's a
trying
lot.
thinking when I was in England, but I didn't like UFOs at the time, and it was
It's a
too
lot to
cold. It's quite cold over there, right?
in UK. It's cold, and here it's well, it's still a bit cold, but it's already like spring here. So,
Yeah,
but I
here
suspect it.
too.
No, I suspect that it's gonna. I would love to keep it like this and warmer, but maybe there's still some like frost,
Yes,
freezing
we
cold
had
coming
hail the
before the
other
real
day.
spring.
We had hail.
Oh,
I was live and I showed on my live the hail. So sometimes it comes a cold front and it becomes really cold for a few days, but then spring comes and sometimes summer comes in spring. I love when summer comes in spring, like our
yeah,
summer is in spring. It's a few weeks in spring.
absolutely. I also prefer more warm. There's more sun, more sun. That's I think for me alpha and omega. But anyway, motivation to get up from the bed comes from inside, not from the outside, right? From how is the weather.
Yes, because sometimes we cannot even leave the house. I Here when it's raining and cold, I only leave the house to get my kids and go to the groceries and but it's not too bad over here. We take it, it's too easy for us over here. We don't get snow.
Mhm.
We get
Yeah,
hail sometimes, but a frost in the morning on on the grass, but that's it. It snows in the mountains here, and you have to go like 2 hours, no, 1 hour for the closest mountain, and that's like half snow. For real snow, you need to go to 1,000 meters height, and I'm a bit afraid because I have a big family, and my big van, I didn't buy it to travel very far and to the mountain. You know what I mean? With the van, I need to travel near cities because if something happens to me, I'm really screwed in the mountain, you know?
yeah, I get
Nobody
you.
will get me in the mountains. While if I'm near the city or the beach, they will come and get me and I don't have to pay, the insurance pays. So my van is not the best. And when I travel, I like to travel with the family and safely. And then I have a smaller car, which we can all fit there. It's a little Polo, the VW Polo. So I do use that car when we go for the mountains. It's safer, more reliable. But the van, actually, I'm starting to trust my van but I've only went last summer to the south. I've done 1200 kilometers. So I went 600, stopped there for 2 weeks, visited every 2 days. I picked up the car, more or less, the van, and then I came back, and everything was great.
It's awesome because you can really travel anywhere when you van, and if you can
Yeah,
even sleep in it, if you adjust it also.
yes, I think we could sleep on it. The thing is that I'm not a very camping guy. I'm the only times I've camped was in music festivals. Dolly, love you, sister. And
Thank you,
with my
Dolly.
wife, we
Appreciate it.
never camped. We never camped. My wife is not a camping person either. Uh, I will go to camping places if they have a toilet and hot water, and electrical charge. But I will not go to the woods with the family or the wife without,
Yeah,
to the middle of the unknown. No, no, it's not safe. It's not safe. Animals, and so I prefer to pay a little bit more and go to a private house or a private, like not a
mhm,
tent,
yeah.
but
Glamorous camping.
a bungalow, a little bungalow or something like that. Yes, glamorous, a little bit more glamorous. Then
Yeah,
because then I can do my sky watching when the family's sleeping. I do that. I go to the balcony, and if the night is clear, I will do a sky watching like for 1 hour when everybody's sleeping. I'll watch your lives and other people's lives while I'm in the balcony, and maybe drink a beer or just some juice or ice or some tea or coffee, and I'll just enjoy the moment and do what I love, which is investigating. I'm kind of a private investigator for the body because I'm an osteopath,
hmm, that's
and
to keep in
for
mind
the
as well.
paranormal and the UFOs. That's what I love. Is I'm just following my roots. I've studied to investigate the pain in the body, and now I'm investigating the origins of the body and the origins of the universe and the cosmos,
Yeah,
just like everybody else. The answers of life.
yeah, that's actually essential to investigate and question
It's a
everything.
hobby. Yes, it's a hobby, but it's what I want to do for the rest of my life is investigate and try to be healthy, the healthiest I can, reduce the smoking, maybe find another way of consuming without having to smoke tobacco, because
Yeah,
I do know tobacco is bad, and there's other ways I can consume this beautiful plant without having to destroy my body doing it, and
sure. It's
just
good to do
take
the
care of the
revision
family,
of your spaces.
leave them
Yeah.
something, leave them safe, if I ever have to go earlier. But of course, now I'm starting to think, oh damn it, there's a mosquito. Now I'm starting to think about, you know,
Mhm.
um, staying longer. You know what I mean? How to live longer. I'm entertaining that idea as well. How to live longer without healthier and without medications. And
Yes, it's great to cultivate your body, mind, and soul.
but yeah, that's really, keep doing some holidays with the family, keeping the wife happy. um you know and living on the light. Okay, I'm on the dark right now, but look, I still have the light. Look.
There is both because one wouldn't exist without another.
Mm.
You know that.
And
So
there's no right or wrong in this world. You know what I mean? Like, consciously, on the mental state, there is no right or wrong, because on the spiritual state, you cannot destroy anything. You know what I mean?
that's
Y-
right.
y- y- there
You
is
can
no
only
right or
maybe
wrong.
transform, or torture, but you can just remove.
Yeah, we're put on this earth to experiment, and I do believe we have previous lives. I do have a memory when I was a child of a
We
dream,
can we can have like
a
another
repetitive
episode
dream.
about this, about your past, about your memory, recall and recover what you remember. What do you think? We
Do you
can
believe
arrange
in
another
past
one.
lives? Do you
I
believe in
do,
past lives?
yes. I do believe that we've been here many times and recycling.
I did live in the time of the kings. I have to tell you this, because the image that I remember is the princess in one of those coaches of horse coaches.
Hmm.
So I do remember walking towards the coach, and I have to also admit, it's such an emotional image that it it has. It's difficult to explain this without leaving me a little bit badly. Let me say, okay, it left me physical consequences. That repetitive dream of
Can you
meeting my
specify?
princess
Hmm.
on the coach, that image of meeting my, I don't know if I'm the prince, maybe I am, but maybe I'm just a common person, and she's maybe not a princess, I don't know. But I remember she's crossing a bridge, and I'm meeting her, and then there's some castles, and maybe not a castle, but stone houses and stuff like that. And so it's a very strong dream that I had when I was a kid, right before adolescence, maybe like 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the taking
Yes.
the pills from my mom have caused me some something in my brain. I don't know. But the thing is that, I do, I am a Taurus, and I do have the characteristics of a Taurus. So, you know, I don't think I've been damaged by a lot, damaged by the pill that I took. I think it was only one. Yeah, I think I took one, and then I couldn't even open the package anymore. So, but I don't remember. I do remember
Anyway,
taking them. Do you know that? I
we can
remember
actually
going
we
underneath.
can go through this, for we can have another live where we can go through through the specific experience if we want, because we've been going over
Yes,
2 hours live. So
we can go. We can go, sister.
if you don't mind, what do you
No,
think?
no, no, no. I just keep talking because I I remember stuff.
Yeah, it's coming out. I mean, that's great that you're sharing. So,
Thank you
but
very
I
much
think
again, my
we
sister.
covered a lot of topics already today, you know?
Yes, I'm so happy. It was amazing. I feel it was
Yes,
complete. I don't think I have anything that I remember. Thank you for being able to get it out of me.
it's coming out, you know. Thank you actually for sharing, for feeling that
Mwah.
you're being in a safe space for sharing.
My pleasure, sentient, my sister. Once again,
Likewise.
thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon. Contact me anytime. I will be stopping by your lives from now on, so expect me.
Thank you very much. It has been an honor to connect with you, to have you on my channel, and to reconnect with you. See you also next time. We schedule another live where we can share much more, and I will be actually honored to come on your channel as well if you would like me to have as a guest.
We're gonna
So
have a blast like we had today.
absolutely, it's going to be awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dolly. Only hope is rising prayer, Dolly. Thank you very much for your support, everyone. Love you and see you soon. See you
Mwah, thank you.
with the next episode. So yeah, thank you, Zhao. Have a good night. Boa noite.
Good night, sentient. Slavska, my
Yeah,
sister.
yeah. Thank you. Take care of you and have a great time with your family. I'm looking forward to share more with you.
My pleasure.